the garage. Wanted to go live, talk to the audience, just kind of say hello to you guys. Not really much going on. Latest updates, some of the progress on the channel. We have C5Z or hashtag C5R received its suspension update. All that stuff was installed. So I've had a couple time outings with the car, just kind of through the canyons here locally, driving the car. It's made a significant improvement on handling. And that's pretty much it. That was actually full LG. It was a LG billet drop spindles, Penske coilovers, which were G-Speed spec Corvette T1 sway bars with Progress end links and a Borg bushing set and an AMT camber kit with a track alignment. This is all done by Abel Chevrolet, and I'm going to tell you, this car handles like a dream. I would say it's actually on par with the C7Z right now. I kid you not, this car is on point. One of the differences I think I like with the new setup is that because the drop spindles allow the car to be dropped an inch without, I didn't have to have the coilovers bottomed out. On the previous setup, because we were on standard spindles, the coilovers were bottomed out, so it didn't ride as good as I like, and there was no suspension travel because the struts were all the way bottomed out. Let me show you guys. See if I can get this camera turned around. So here's the previous setup. These are LG Motorsports G2 coilovers. They are basically feature a Bilstein shock and a Hyperco spring. Worked pretty good. The car was slammed. It was so low that there were certain driveways that there was no way I was getting up. So I'd get stuck in certain like gas stations. Were off limits and all that kind of business. So anyways, I'm definitely happy with the Penske coilovers for sure. And then also, I think what else helped the car was was removing the stock spindles. These spindles are, they're legit from GM, but who are we kidding? These are a cast or a forged aluminum, and they're not on par with a billet spindle. So I actually kept these because if I end up putting Corvette stuff on other projects, then I have spindles. So these are C5Z06 spindles, and then these are LG Motorsports G2 coilovers. So also what else do I have in here? I think I got the white line end links, which the end links actually are a decent end link. Again, the sway bar was so stiff that it broke one of the end links. So anyways, gone is that stuff, and now we're on a set of Progress end links. So these are the white lines, the previous setup. Not bad, held up okay, but the Progress are just way beefier. See the attachment points, and here's the stock rubber bushing. So anyways, that's pretty much it with that. And the ride height, honestly, it's settled, because it did initially sit probably about a half-inch higher than the previous setup. But now that it's, I got probably about 100 or so miles on it and some rips through the canyon, it's now set the way I like. So anyways, it's just sitting on a tender. So it's a Braille lithium ion battery. It's the I-34 series, and sitting on an Optimate charger. That's pretty much it. And then the Falcon is hanging out. I got probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 gallons of E85 that I got to burn off here soon. And what I'll do is I'll be flushing it out with this 110 octane. Shout out to TOE Performance Products for the 110, the gallon of 110 octane. What I'll do is I'll run all the E out, and then I'll drain the fuel cell, and then from there I will commence to dumping the 110 octane in there, running that, and then also draining the fuel lines, the fuel cell, pulling the carburetor and the float bowls, or draining the float bowls, or you know, whatever that part is on the carburetor, I'll end up draining. So anyways, that is for the most part it. So in short, on with the billet drop spindles and off with the stock C506 spindles, and swapped the LGs out for a set of Penske G-Speed spec coilovers, and definitely no turning back there. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of give you guys that update. Stay tuned for a video. Show me ripping through the canyons with another C506. So you guys will see that here soon. I just got to edit it and stuff. So anyways, you guys know me when I say this thing's a C5R. I do it with air quotes. It's not an actual C5R. I'm pretty sure you guys know that, but it's a pretty damn close body kit. Old school body kit, by the way. Make sure that's not pinched. Okay. Old school body kit, and they don't make this kit anymore. As far as the hood, the wing, you can still get these fenders. The front lower lip, you cannot get. The side skirt, you either cannot get or it's hard to find. And I think, you know, honestly, with this car, after going through the process of updating a suspension and getting the track alignment, I honestly, at this point, you know, I'm kind of torn. Do I really want to put more power to this car? Because to be honest, this 405 horsepower LS6, 405 is like a sweet spot. I'll be honest with you. The car just, it hooks. It's a lightweight car. You know, it's aerodynamic, and the aero actually works. You can feel this thing really get pulled down to the ground when you're around 70 miles an hour and above. The aero starts to really pull this thing down. So in short, you know, I know you guys who have been following me for a while know that we got a C5R block pending build, and that's probably, we're leaning towards an all-pro cylinder head. And you know, if I go all pro, we're going all the way NA, and of course we'll shoot for 800 horsepower at the flywheel, which should give us, you know, 700 wheel. Of course, I'd have to update the T56 out of the 04 C5s, and then also the differential, because you know, that's, although it's, you know, good for, you know, turning it up some, that's like a stage 5 build. So I'd have to really step up my driveline game. So if any of you guys out there know of anyone who's selling a C6 ZR1 trans and diff, let me know. I know those are unicorns. So I don't know, we'll see. Let me pop the hood for the Falcon. I know a couple of you guys have been asking about it. So why not? See if I can do this with one hand. All right. Voila. So there she is. It is a 430-inch Windsor. It's the list goes on about this build as far as the particulars on the motor. There's several videos on the channel. If you go to CSM Racing Engines, you'll see a handful of videos, including 2 dyno videos with this motor. We had a big heavy hitter cam at first, and we dialed it back a little bit, took some duration out of it, and we actually picked up torque and some horsepower. So this is a 700 plus horsepower, naturally aspirated, 13-to-1 compression ratio, small block. And you can see that's the engine builder there. So they would be the same. I'd use them for also the C5R block. So anyways, if you guys want some more content like this, just, let me know. Definitely, drop comments. And also for you guys who, if you're not subscribed and you watch my contents and you like it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. Other than that, I think we're kind of at a good point with these go round of mods. There is some more stuff that I want to do and share with you guys regarding the C7 Z06, which is, I would say a stage 1 car with a cold air intake and a full exhaust and a flex fuel tune. I got big plans for that, but that's probably pushed back until after this thing is done. So my reasoning for that is, why tear into a new car, basically? Why tear into that when it's already sick just from the factory, and add a stage 1, and I have no reason to turn that thing up anytime soon. So I think what I will do is we'll continue to dial in the Falcon. We'll continue to do some things, some tweaks on it. There's a couple of chassis updates that I want to do, some updates on the seats, and a few things like that. And then really make the decision, do we go all in on the motor build for this, and do we shoot for 800 horsepower? Right now, the only limiting factor is if we run the All-Pro LS7 head, it's going to require an intake manifold that likely will not fit underneath that. So that's going to be something that limits us, or it won't limit us. I'll just change the hood. But that's kind of where I'm at. So, like I said, honestly, after doing the suspension on this thing, even just it made me say, well, why not just do, heads cam LS6, long tube headers, and just roll it like that for, that's a fun car. I'll pick up 150 horsepower, just that way. So, those are some of so that's kind of where I'm at now, with some of the projects. So anyways, I think that's it. In some other news, for those of you in the automotive world, the late model stuff, anything that is a car that's not smog exempt, especially if you're in the state of California, about the EPA and all the restrictions with buying cars that are buying parts that defeats or modifies government regulated smog equipment, exhaust, and all that stuff. So in the news, what I heard some unfortunate news about Cobb tuning was fined by the EPA. I think it was like 2.9 mil, and that's unfortunate. So they were slapped with a hefty fine, and then there were some restrictions added to them, such as they can't support their customer base for the parts that they've already sold. They have to destroy the parts that they've already made, for which they've been fined for, and a couple other things. So to me, that's terrible news, because Cobb, even though Cobb is not in the genre of cars that I enjoy, it's still something that affects the community, as far as like, well, if Cobb's, getting fined and getting cited by the EPA, who else could be next? So I really think this is an opportunity for the automotive enthusiasts, no matter where you are, especially if you're in California, but, in all 50 states, to really start to really kind of get together behind something and make a petition to the government of what you want the automotive enjoyment or your automotive experience to be like, in terms of like, hey, what kind of restrictions are we going to have against us? What's the likelihood of us being fined? Will we be able to exist and stay in business? There's a lot to that, and the way things are today, with everything being electronically tracked, it's really just them pulling up the Rolodex and picking out who they want to go after next. And so I just say that for the community as a whole, us enthusiasts, we need to really kind of start wrapping our heads around these things and start to kind of come together on what we want our automotive experience to be like. So again, Cobb fined 2.9 mil by the EPA, and hopefully hopefully they, you know, are able to. I don't know if they're going to continue to fight that. I don't know if they can afford it because, you know, a private company has to pay for attorneys and legal fees, whereas a government agency has the Department of Justice at its you know behest. So these are things just to look at and just kind of understand. So, anyways, I won't go on about that, but yeah. So I think we got looks like we got 20 people on here. Anybody if you're on here, shout out your username and where you're from, and just to kind of see who we have in the house. Username and where you're from. Don't be shy out there. Also, Facebook Marketplace. I have a set of anyone looking for long tube headers built by Sanderson headers for a Trick Flow Twisted Wedge R series head. I got a set of brand new headers from Sanderson that they've only been mounted to the car. They're 2-inch long tubes, 3.5-inch collectors with a fresh ceramic coat from Sanderson. So that's on the Facebook Marketplace. Anybody looking for headers for a Trick Flow Twisted Wedge R, a Trick Flow High Port, or a Brodix Headhunter, a big boy header. I have one for a small block Ford. I have a set. Anybody looking for a road race oil pan for a small block Ford? Got one on deck as well. Only dyno time on that. Never been in the car, just ran on the dyno. Again, if you guys know the channel, you know the progress on the Falcon. We ditched that because we went to a dry sump oiling setup, so we had to, we ditched the wet sump stuff. So anyways, I have all that, a milling high volume oil pump, ARP hardened shaft. The oil pump was blueprinted by CSM Racing Engines, so you get all that value, over $600 worth of value in parts. I'm selling for $450 on the marketplace. So if you guys know anyone looking for an oil pan for a small block Ford to fit the Mustang, Falcon, Cougar chassis, I got that on the marketplace. So anyways, I think that's it for today. Just wanted to jump on here and go live with the community, give you guys updates, and just appreciate you guys for following and supporting. I want to give a special shout out to the Falcon Club of America, the Sonoma chapter. I want to give them a special shout out. I went down there last weekend to Novato and had a great time hanging out with the Sonoma chapter of the Falcon Club of America. Just looking at so many Falcons that were there. There were some Rancheros that were there. I think I was the only third gen Falcon there. So third gen we call the 66 through 69, and this was the only third gen there. So, but a bunch of 60s, 65s, and I would say there's probably probably 24 Falcons that were there. So definitely would like to basically get more interest going on that. One of the things that they did mention is that some of the Falcon gatherings had kind of taken a hit during COVID, but I guess the Sacramento chapter had a strong following, strong group, and but had kind of died off since COVID-19. So anyways, COVID is 4 or 5 years behind us now. So although, yeah, we still feel kind of some of the impacts, I am tired of hearing like how COVID jacks stuff up, you know what I mean? But apparently, some of those effects are still lingering for us in the community. But the Falcon Club of America, or just Falcon gatherings in Northern California period, or nationally, there's definitely interest, and I'd be interested in setting up a meeting. So if we got some Falcon enthusiasts on this live, just hit me up, let me know, because I got a couple people that I can put you guys in contact, and I think we could probably make something happen. I know that they did mention a date. The Vice President Steve mentioned a date of 2026 as a date that he would like to try and set up a good, meeting where it's a weekend, like a Friday, Saturday type of thing. And, like at a park where there's like an event center at this park in Novato, which has, you can hold, it's a multi-purpose center. So you can hold anything from parties, car shows, events, live music, food, all that kind of stuff along with cars. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, then I think we should start linking up and trying to revive the some of the California chapters of the Falcon Club of America. So I'm definitely interested, and hopefully we can get that going. So anyways, just circling back, shout out to the Sonoma chapter, the President Al, Vice President Steve, great host. Had a great time, barbecued, had a good cheeseburger, and yeah, we just had a great time out there. So just wanted to say that. I think that's about it. I don't know if there's any. I see there's like 28 people on. If there's any questions, anybody have any questions or comments, any type of content they'd like to see more of, let me know, and I could try to accommodate. So, yep, I think that's it, folks. I will go ahead and sign off here, but just wanted to say, hey, happy Tuesday, and we'll talk to you guys soon. All right, peace.